We live in an era of infinite financial information. Anyone can access thousands of hours of tax strategies, investment tutorials, and estate planning guides. Yet the wealth gap continues to widen. The bottleneck isn't access to knowledge. The bottleneck is execution. People know they need to organize their assets and plan for the future, but they lack a system to actually do it. Traditional financial education relies on passive consumption. It asks a stressed, overwhelmed individual to absorb hours of content and somehow translate that into a comprehensive financial overhaul. The result is cognitive overload and immediate paralysis. The intervention begins offline. A physical book and companion workbook serve as a tactile entry point, stripping away the digital noise and forcing the user to transition from passive reading to written, active planning. Any system attempting to solve financial wellness at scale has to cross this final mile. It must convert intention into a measurable, data-y habit. When software developers look at this implementation gap, their first instinct is to deploy a generative AI chatbot as a personalized financial oracle, capable of answering any question a user throws at it. That instinct ignores the strict realities of regulated domains. Individualized tax strategy, complex legal structuring, portfolio investment allocation, and medical planning are heavily protected fields, requiring licensed human oversight. The moment a platform allows an unconstrained large language model to dispense unauthorized advice, it absorbs catastrophic legal and compliance liability. The fantasy of an omniscient robo-advisor collapses under the weight of consumer protection laws and enterprise risk management. No corporate HR department will deploy a tool that exposes their employees to hallucinated tax strategies. AI and personal finance cannot operate freely. It has to be architected as a bounded AI, a system engineered to drive user behavior while strictly hard-coding regulatory constraints into its foundation. Securing an AI system requires limiting the user's psychological variables through a strict pedagogical framework. The system is built around a specific methodology: find the leak, fix the plan, build the legacy. The platform categorizes the financial ecosystem into 6 distinct lanes: money, taxes, systems, insurance, estate planning, and AI. Instead of presenting a blank chat interface, the platform forces the user to choose one priority. A user selects a single lane, immediately eliminating cognitive paralysis. Complex financial planning is then reduced into an action standard. Complete one highly focused, 10-minute task every day over a 30-day challenge. This rigid limitation of scope cures user paralysis. By restricting the user to a defined 30-day timeline, the platform creates a predictable, closed-loop environment. The AI operates within these known parameters, drastically reducing the surface area for errors. Digitizing this 30-day behavioral framework requires a deterministic, highly secure infrastructure. We start at the base layer. The system relies on PostgreSQL via Supabase to securely manage user profiles, cohort assignments, and track daily actions. Sitting above the data is a Next.js progressive web application. This ensures a seamless, mobile-first experience, allowing users to log in from their phones and execute their 10-minute check-in. To process secure business logic without exposing the core database to the client side, the architecture relies on serverless edge functions. Establishing this deterministic, tightly controlled data infrastructure is the non-negotiable prerequisite. Only after the boundaries are built can generative AI features be safely introduced. With the foundation secure, the OpenAI API gateway is integrated into the architecture. The AI is explicitly permitted to do 2 things: generate organizational prompts and convert broad user goals into granular, day-by-day action plans. But before any prompt reaches the LLM, it hits the guardrail layer. Strict negative constraints are hard-coded to block the collection of social security numbers, account routing details, and sensitive medical records. Even with these barriers, users will inevitably ask the AI for regulated financial or legal advice. This triggers the platform's escalation logic. The system intercepts these dangerous queries. Instead of answering a legal question about trust formation, the logic automatically pivots. It generates a highly specific, customized prep list of questions for the user to take directly to a qualified licensed attorney or CPA. Fintech AI functions as a behavioral engine when engineering constraints keep its outputs strictly organizational and legally compliant. This compliance architecture directly unlocks the platform's primary monetization engine, the $7,500 corporate financial wellness experience. Enterprise wellness software contains a contradiction. The employer demands measurable ROI, but the employee requires absolute privacy. The system satisfies the employer by delivering aggregate metrics, cohort participation rates, challenge completions, and shifts in pre- and post-program confidence scores. To protect the employee, a sanitization filter separates raw financial data from the corporate reporting dashboard. The filter strips away all dollar amounts, account specifics, and personal identifiers. Only abstract engagement metrics and completion statuses pass upward to the employer's view. Row-level security at the database layer mathematically enforces the separation, ensuring no unauthorized query can access sensitive individual rows. By solving the privacy versus ROI paradox at the architectural level, the platform eliminates HR liability. Employers track the success of their corporate investment without ever crossing the boundary into their employees' personal finances. When we zoom out and look at the big picture, we see an ecosystem where every component functions in perfect synchronization. The journey starts offline with the physical book, moves into the application, and passes through AI guardrails. It outputs sanitized enterprise analytics, and the loop closes by connecting the user's prep lists with human professionals who execute the regulated work. Much of the fintech industry remains obsessed with predictive AI and algorithmic trading, applications fraught with unpredictable risk and severe regulatory friction. Proprietary behavioral action datasets and integrated compliance frameworks provide the core defensibility, shifting the value away from open-source LLM weights. The platform safely transforms passive information into daily, measurable, legacy-building action.